Well, welcome to Star Sports' third Greyhound Derby Zoom room. I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Damien Matthews, Irish trainer who has a few contenders for this year's Derby. Charlie Rees, assistant trainer to his dad. Of course, they had the favourite for last year's final, Southwood Jet, and Lofty is here to take us through a lot of the betting as well. And a new market I spotted earlier as well, Lofty. We'll come to that in just a little while. Damien, let's come to you first of all. You're bringing over a team of three, hopefully, all being well, to Towcester, and of course headed by, I think what it's fair to say is the best of your team, Damien, who was a finalist in the Puppy Derby at Towcester, and he really loved the track, didn't he?
He did, Julie, yes. It would be our intention to take over a couple. The Damien would be obviously the leading contender on current form, but I would also like to take those days are gone and unlock, assuming her preparation goes according to plan. Damien did take the track well during the Puppy Derby. I think he's a different, lot stronger dog since then, and I hope he has progressed, and it'll show in May and June when the event's scheduled to start.
He was so young when he came over, actually, for that Puppy Derby. He's since been second in the Kirby, which is a nice preparation competition, I always think, for those youngsters coming over here. How is he in himself, and are you pleased with the way things are going?
Oh, no, we're very pleased with the dog. Absolutely delighted with the dog. His progression has been there for everybody to see. But that step up from Puppy Cup stage or status to an all-age company is a step up, and it's important that, you know, for us to show that progression, that he makes that leap to the next step, and that's basically what's ahead of him. But I couldn't be happier with the dog. He performed, as I said, pre the final. If he was to do his best break, I wouldn't be disappointed. And I do think he done his best break in the final. If anything, he probably was up too close. So I couldn't be critical of the dog. The dog performed exceptionally well throughout the event. He's come out of it well. We worked in the day. Our intention would be to possibly give him one trial late May in Towcester with the new traps and what have you, and then go straight to the Derby.
You also mentioned Unlock, who is an interesting runner that you might be bringing over. She's been off the track since October, a full sister to Kulavani Chick. She's unbelievably fast, but she's just had a litter of pups.
She did. And listen, I don't want to rush her, but at the same time, it was always an ambition of ours to run her in the likes of Towcester, because we think the track, the venue, the standard, the distance, everything would be right up our street. It is a tall ask, you know. Her pups are 3 months old at this stage, so she hasn't been back on the track since October. But she's we're putting her through her preparation work on the gallops, and she's stepping up to the plate well. And if we think that she'll do herself justice, I would love to give her a chance to compete in it. It may take round 1 and round 2 for to start, you know, for to get back going again. But like if she was to get over the initial rounds, she would be a major player the longer the event would go on, if she was just to stay in.
And then those days are gone, completes your team. A very strong dog, a very fast dog, really well bred as well. He's gonna come to Towcester.
He is. He was with me at the Puppy Derby last December, and he was a month younger than Damien. I think he qualified the first night, and then he went out in the second night. It took a while for the penny to drop for him. I have no doubt in his ability. He has the pace. It's only a matter of putting it all together. And I do think his last race in Shelburne, 32.40 for 600, it takes a bit of doing 32.40 for 600. And I have no doubt he has the pace. Whether he can put it all together, listen, it's a dream just to go over to compete in the English Derby. And, you know, when you have 2 or 3 dogs, you might as well take what you have and give it a whirl. That'd be our attitude, you know, because sometimes what might be your main dog starting off may not be the main dog in the event as the event progresses. So we would just like to take our chances.
Absolutely. Well, Lofty, I think certainly Damien is the main dog in the betting for Damien, isn't he?
Yeah, he was certainly well backed too. I think a few people saw the runs in the Kirby, and obviously knowing with his experience around Towcester in the Puppy Derby last year, you know, he's got that valuable track experience. as Damien said, it's out the new tracks now. So we want a trial, and you know they're a huge improvement. Those new boxes, just seeing them for the first time last night with their maiden derby heats. But for a dog who you know is going to stay every yard of the 500 that's hosting its testing, a lot of people are backed him. He's been, you know, shrewdly backed at 50 and 40 to 1. I think we're 33 to 1 about him now. So, as you say, Towcester form, track forms, it's important for those Irish dogs. A lot of them, we said, you know, previously, they're going to come over in a couple of trials, and that'll be all they're used to the track with. You know, he's got plenty of experience, Dean Machine, getting to that puppy derby final earlier in the year. And of course, he had a rather bad experience coming down to him. I think the ferry was late and he was screaming down the road to get there, and just got there on time and literally turned up probably about sort of 20 minutes before cut off of the kennelling. So that wouldn't have been any other preparation for him.
I think it was even 20 minutes, was it, Damien? I think it was about 20 seconds.
Listen, it's actually better being forgot about in total, because the first night we went over, the fog, we were ready to go to traps and the fog actually stopped us.
That's right, I remember, yeah.
Was cancelled and we had to go back 2 days later for the first round, Tuesday night. Then the semi-final was the Saturday and the final was a problem the Friday. So I think in the space of about 10 days, he travelled 4 times and it wasn't ideal. And then in the final, listen, you feel a responsibility that, you know, you're there, you're competing, and you should do everything in your power to get there and run. And I wouldn't let it disappoint any of the promoters or the sponsors of events, because in the era that we're living, it's important that, you know, Star Sports or whoever was sponsoring the Puppy Derby gets supported. And we felt under an obligation to get there. We done our best and we did make it, albeit it didn't stand the dog in good state. It didn't give him the preparation you want, Martin. But listen, he competed, he was there, we went on home, and sure, we lived to fight another day.
And just very quickly, Lofty, prices for those days are gone and unlock.
For those days are gone, I think I put in at 100 to 1. Unlock. I spoke to you earlier on, didn't I? So I thought she had a litter of pups. I mean, she was looked a flying machine when she was running. Did she do the track record at Newbridge on her second start or something? It was some ridiculous runs early on in her career. I know, I think Ian Fortune was saying about what a strong running dog she was and how much they loved her. But yeah, she's one with not putting the bet in as yet. If she comes over, I'm sure we'll introduce her at some stage for the betting, but she's not quoted as yet.
Well, let's get some English contenders now. Charlie Rees joins us, and obviously your experience in the Derby last year, I'm guessing, spurring you on even more so this year to take a few decent runners, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously got a few more than we did last year. Obviously, we only went in with 1 last year, but hopefully, all being well, we should have 4, maybe 5 going for this year.
Headed by, I still think, Southwood Jet. He looks to be coming back really, really well. Looks like you've got him just where you want him. You tweet photos all the time for anybody watching this that wants to follow you. The dog looks very well. How is he?
Yeah, he's well. I think he trialled just over 10 days ago now. He come out of it well. He clocked 30.04 -10 on a track that probably was a bit slower given the times of other dogs. But obviously there's a difference between trial fit and race fit. And his last race, I think, was December last year. So we're just going to bring him along slowly. We've still got time. And hopefully by the time the Derby starts, he should be 100% sharp.
Fingers crossed. So we'll go through your other runners. Highlight Arkle is coming in at 33 to 1. This is a good dog for you. Will he stay, Charlie?
Yeah, I think he will. Obviously 500 is going to be as far as he wants, but I think with his running style as well, he's got lovely early. He goes to the third bend, I think, as well as most dogs. And, you know, with that kind of running style, if you can get a good enough lead and there's a bit of trouble in behind, I think he'll be absolutely fine. He running an open at Hove over 500. There was some fairly strong dogs behind him, and he kept the lead the whole way, and nothing really got near to him, and he was still going in front to the pickup. So I've got no worries. And I think, you know, the more he runs, I think the better he'll get, the stronger he'll get, and obviously the weather's going to be getting better as well for him.
Amazing Wink has just run second in a heat of the maiden Derby at Towcester. What did you make of that run and assess the dog's chances for the Derby?
Yeah, I was pleased yesterday. Obviously, he ran a great race. You know, he was last, I think, going into the third bend. But he's a bit different to obviously the other 3 that we have. He's more of a staying kind of dog, which, you know, it's nice to go into the competition with something a bit different. You know, you've always got a chance of him. Like, obviously, he lacks a little bit of early, obviously, and a bit of middle. But, you know, coming home so strong like he does, he's always exciting, knowing, obviously, being in a good position, he's going to hopefully be quite a good qualifier for us.
And Ben Church Mick completes your team. Only had 5 races, a youngster, just turned 2 years of age, May 2019. Well, tell us about Ben Church Mick.
Yeah, he's another one similar to Jet that we're just bringing along slowly. We tried him at Monmore in February and he done 28.20, so he went straight into the Puppy Derby. He was about 3 lengths clear, and then unfortunately something went wrong, picked up a little niggle. We kept him off. His sprints at Hove were brilliant. Trialing back, he was doing 16.27, 16.28. So we were delighted with that. We trialled him on the same day Southwood Jet trialled at Towcester, and he only went half a length slower than him. And then we trialled him again yesterday, and he just completely missed it at the boxes. So obviously went back maybe half a length, I think, in time. So it's not too much of an issue, but he's another dog with more runs. He'll be getting stronger as well.
Prices then, Lofty, what do you think?
Yeah, we got the shortest one of those is Highlight Harcourt. I voiced his trial last night, as Charlie said. There won't be too many dogs taking him along to the third corner. He absolutely flew to the third bend, but I think if you're looking in those wing mirrors coming home down at home straight to Towcester, obviously the ground's going to get a bit faster, and on a faster track he can get out and get home. But he looks an exciting sort. He's a 33-to-1 shot. Southwood Jet's at 40s. Bird Church Mick, I think I had down at about 100-to-1 somewhere. It must have been an amazing week, not yet put in the market again, but I've actually backed him myself in that maiden derby. I think the sort of dog will keep qualifying all the time. But I mean, he performed a miracle to qualify last night from where he was, and he's got the hottest of the hottest semi-finals in track 1. But you can see him turning last, maybe picking up the piece and sneaking through the qualifier. Hopefully he does for me anyway. But no, Highlight Harcourt was definitely an interesting dog. Say he's a very, very, very quick dog, I think, to the third corner, and see what he does from there.
Nice for you this year to have a backup plan, Charlie, with a few live chances. Who, if you could just take one, which one would it be?
I mean, obviously, going off last year, you've got to say Southwood Jet. But I think him and Highlight Harcourt, I think, that if I could take 2, I'll take them 2, because I think I really think a lot of both of them. I think they got lovely early, go to the third bend well. And it's definitely the style of dog that you would want for Towcester, because the thing is with Arkle is he likes the rails, but he's not a railer. So we're probably not going to seed him rails, because he'll go up straight from any trap, and hopefully he'll have enough early to chop the bend and get on the rails. But yeah, I'm excited about all 4 of them, and fingers crossed they should go all right.
Okay, Lofty, a new market that I've spotted. Where will the winner be trained? This is the big question, isn't it? Got an Irishman and an Englishman here, of course. What are the prices?
Yeah, I've had quite a few inquiries for that, but it's only been one-way traffic, unfortunately. We stuck the Irish in at 4 to 7, and it sat there for a little while. And eventually there was a few bets coming through, and a bit more of a few bets, and then a bit more of a torrent of bets. So I thought we've got to go 8 to 15 at some stage. And I was trying to say whether they go Ireland or GB or UK to try and clip Damien in to get the Northern Irish on our side, but I thought no, we've got to have the island of Ireland. So unfortunately, Dean Machine also comes under the Irish jurisdiction. But a few people said to me in the week they think the English dogs are overpriced. So well, 5 to 4 there, 11 to 8 an English winner. Or a GB train winner. Don't forget our friends up in Scotland. Maybe they can come for that side as well. But at the moment, it's been all one-way traffic. I will also do a market the number of Irish finalists too, once we know the full list of entries. Again, I've had inquiries there about will there be 6 Irish trained finalists. Well, if that happens, I think we've got to emigrate, haven't we, really, and just bring the flag down and put the tricolor up on final night. But I mean, surely that can't happen, 6 Irish finalists. But I can see there'd be at least half the field maybe from Ireland in the final, possibly.
Damien just had a similar smug smile on his face that I see from Ian Fortune all too often. How many Irish finalists do you think, Damien?
Listen, it all hinges on, as Lofty has alluded to, the team that actually is entered. There is a considerable interest, and it's great to have the likes of Towcester hosting it and a good interest. I wouldn't get bogged down in something like that. There, obviously, if there's a big Irish contention, there would be a big Irish number in the final, I would imagine, Julie. Having said that, Seamus Cahill, Charlie's on there. There's some dogs that are formidable that make up the 10 pin there for John Mullins. Seamus Cahill has that dog was in the Puppy Derby last year. There's plenty of UK dogs that are well capable of running well around Towcester. So I wouldn't be as bullish as Ian is. Ian Julie doesn't walk too many dogs, so you have to bear that in mind. He operates with a pen, so it's different when you have the lead in your hand.
Definitely. Charlie, would you be backing the English at 5 to 4?
Yeah, I think, it gets to that point of the year where everyone starts, hyping up the Irish dogs. You see it on Twitter all the time. Oh, Irish dogs this, Irish dogs that. I'd like, hopefully, for there to be 6 English dogs in the final. That would be nice for me. But, it is what it is. They're all good dogs, and if you're going in the derby, you're a decent dog. Yeah, there's a lot of good Irish dogs, but at the end of the day, you need the luck, don't you? So, who knows?
Charlie, that was so well said. Well done. 6 English finalists. I would get Damien back on, Andy and Fortune, and all the other Irish trainers, and we'll do this again. Thank you so much, guys. Listen, we love the Irish-English banter, but genuinely, Damien, we're so looking forward to having you all over, and the excitement's really building now. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for telling people about your dogs, and we'll look forward to seeing you at Towcester. Thanks to you as well, Lofty. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, thanks.
Thank you.